And although there are some things that I don't like about Point Loma, the majority of the things that I've experienced are positive. The one thing I really dislike about Point Loma is how they advertise that they're a Christ-centered community, but I don't see a lot of that. I saw it freshman year because they have a lot of groups centered towards freshmen. Like in your own hall, you have groups that you can meet with every Monday night. They're called alpha groups. And then they do have groups for other students, but it feels like once you become a sophomore, the like push for spiritual life kind of drops off. And like you get emails from the director of spiritual life every week, and like you have chapel and you have to go to a certain amount of chapels, and the chapel requirement is like nothing compared to other schools like Liberty or even Biola, but it just feels really fake, and it feels like the administration knows that the students aren't really feeling it, and so they're pushing it even harder, and then people get turned off by it. I really don't see the connect between the advertising we're a Christ-centered community and then actually being on campus and feeling like if I am super into my faith, I feel like the minority, and I don't think that's how it should feel at a Christian campus. So that's the one thing I really dislike, but it has made me stronger in my faith because I've had to do it independently. People complain about chapel all the time, and like I enjoy chapel. Like I hate going because it's early in the morning, but I'm glad that I'm forced to go, and that's not a popular opinion to have. So I came to Point Loma thinking like, oh my gosh, they're so Christ-centered, like I'm gonna get the best Christian education. And then I got to Bible class, and like everything they said was like controversial and very left-wing. If I could change one thing, that it was that the people that went to Point Loma were Christians in reality. If I could change one thing, it would definitely be that the students at Point Loma were more dedicated to their faith above anything else, above the typical college experience. And we have San Diego State right near us, so like even though there's not parties at Point Loma, like it's very easy to find. And a lot of students, when they're older or their senior years, they'll live off campus and they're right on the beach, so it's like party scene. One of my favorite professors said that he believes within the next decade Point Loma will no longer identify as a Christian campus. Like it's that bad. Like all the other Nazarene colleges like know Point Loma as the like not really Nazarene college. I still don't know what Nazarene even means because it's more like non-denominational, just a typical Christian college. Now, a little bit more about what I do like at Point Loma. So I was part of the debate team for my first 3 years, and I joined the debate team on a whim freshman year because I saw they offered scholarships, and I was a communication major, and the debate team was within the communication department. So I joined the debate team, not what I expected at all. But I love the competitiveness of it because I'm a very competitive person. I did sports my entire life. I actually joined, and because almost everyone on the team wanted to be a lawyer, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a lawyer. And then like a semester later, I was like, oh, actually, I don't really want to do that for the rest of my life. So debate is really, really, really hard to explain if you haven't done it before. So I'm not even gonna try because that's like a whole nother video. I just scratched myself with my long nails. I'm not even gonna try to explain that right now. But yeah, so that's one of the things I like. I did intramurals my freshman year, but debate took up too much time, so I had to stop doing that. What the heck? I also was club president for a year of YAF, Young Americans for Freedom, and freshman year I was the social media coordinator, and then the second year I was the president. And then I was also part of College Republicans, and this past year some students started a Students for Life group, which is a pro-life group. So I kind of did a little bit like with supporting them, but I couldn't attend a bunch of their meetings again because of debate. Study abroad like programs, they have so many in so many countries, and a lot of people take advantage of the program. It's not to say you're gonna be like viewed as weird if you don't study abroad, because like I have tons of friends who don't study abroad, but I also have even more who do. I think it's a great experience. I went to Washington, D.C. because I didn't want to be 5 months in a country where I didn't understand the language, and I knew that I would get really anxious in that, and I knew I lived abroad and didn't have the best experience, and so I knew it would bring back a lot of like traumatic memories. And I have visited abroad, and I love visiting other places. I've been to France, Spain, Haiti, Belgium, Italy, Canada, Mexico, Nicaragua. Studying for 5 months, I knew it was going to be stressful, and so I didn't want to add on to that stress by being in a country I'd never been to before or had only been to very briefly. So I chose to study abroad within the US and went to Washington, D.C. I also really appreciate the communication program in general. I think the professors in the comm program are really caring, and I haven't had a single professor in my department who I haven't enjoyed. I'm really excited. I love my major now. I have one more semester. I'm taking literally the class that every communication major dreads and cries about. It's like a final class where you have to do this huge 45-page research project, and I'm gonna cry already thinking about it. It's going to be absolute hell. And then I added a business administration minor literally last semester because I was like, wait a second, I have room to take this and still graduate early. So I'm going to take a few, 2 business classes to finish up my minor, and then I will be done. I don't know how I finished early, especially because I changed my major so many times. I didn't even take AP classes. I only took AP Spanish, and that only got me out of 1 class. So I don't know how I'm graduating early, but I did it. So the internship I'm doing this summer offers a lot of their interns full-time positions after graduation, and they will tell you within 2 weeks of the internship ending whether or not they're offering you a full-time position that would start right after graduation. And I really, really want a full-time job, especially because it's really hard for graduates right now because of COVID-19 to find jobs, because so many people are out of jobs and therefore applying. And so it's really hard. And if I just went right from graduation into a secure position, that would be the biggest blessing in the world, because I wouldn't have to job search at all. So in summary, graduated high school in 2017 in South Carolina, drove across the country with my family. They actually ended up moving here because my sister wants to do film, and so California is the best place to be for film. And so they were like, hey, we'll just follow you, because both of our children are going to end up going to college in California. So they followed me, drove across the country the morning after I graduated high school, got here, had already switched my major twice by the time summer came around, and I hadn't even started. I took summer classes all along the way. I had a bunch of internships that basically helped me decide what I did and didn't want to do. And now I'm graduating early with a BA in organizational communication and a minor in business administration, and I can't wait to pursue HR, and I'm so excited.